Yo, what's up guys? It's your man Foriam again, hope you're having an awesome day. Today we're gonna talk about Frozen Flame, a game which caught my attention a couple days ago on Steam when I was browsing for some new games. And this one looks pretty promising, something to definitely look forward to maybe playing later this year. It's basically a mix between Zelda Breath of the Wild and some Ark Survival Evolved. People who like to play Valheim, V Rising, or even Minecraft will without doubt enjoy playing this game as well. In this video we're going to talk about pretty much everything you need to know about it, as I covered quite some hours in the demo, had a lot of fun, but there are also some flaws which we're definitely going to discuss in this one. Anyways, if you just want to hear everything there is to know about this game, definitely make sure to stick till the end as we're going to cover all of that stuff. So guys, let's get right to it. So, Frozen Flame, what kind of game is this exactly? Well, the description is as follows: a challenging exploration and survival adventure set in the dying world of the dragons, and only those who harness the power of the frozen flame have the means to survive the harsh conditions of the realm and able to muster the strength to cleanse it for good. In other words, it's an open world survival game with some elements of mainly Zelda Breath of the Wild, which I really enjoyed playing. Was without doubt one of my hands down favorite games of all time, exploration and open world wise. This game has a lot of mechanics similar to it, as you'll be able to progress your character, but there is also multiplayer, which we haven't seen in games similar like this one, which I think is gonna be awesome. So you'll be able to defeat bosses together, let's say, go on an adventure with other people, build bases together, and then there's also PvP. I'm not really sure how this is gonna turn out, but there is just so much to talk about, so let's just start off with the basics. So you create your own character with quite some customization options, like a different skin tone, hairstyles, hair colors, male and female, but then you get thrown in this big open world in which you already get familiar with everything there is to do in the game, let's say. It's pretty big already for a demo, in my opinion. I mean, I had a lot of fun checking this one out, even though it did have quite some flaws, which we're going to talk about later in this video. But at the beginning, you will find some NPCs, which will give you quests. You also can interact with some books, which will give you some hints and tips. But the further you progress, the more difficult the mobs become, and basically, if you defeat them, just like with most similar games, they have a chance to drop some loot, possibly even a rare weapon or piece of headgear which you can use, further customize your character, let's say fight with a hatchet or with an axe or with a sword. You can even specialize in different skills, like if you level up, you can put some talent points or skill points into archery, and then you will increase your critical strike chance with bows, let's say. What I think is really nice is that here and there you can also find these little puzzles, riddles, or let's say mini quests, just like we saw in Zelda Breath of the Wild with the Korok seeds. So sometimes you have to pop some balloons, let's say, or you have to get from point X to Y as quick as possible, and then you get rewarded with the Korok seeds. Well, in this game you also have that. You basically interact with these pillars, and then you have to search for some rune stones, or you have to shoot things out of the sky, and then you get rewarded with experience, which basically levels you up and rewards you with frozen flames, which you can in return use to further customize your character depending on what kind of playstyle you want to roll with. Do you want to focus more on archery, shoot down your enemies from afar, or maybe you just want to go ham on them from nearby with an axe or a sword? Well, you can spend all those frozen flame points in them to further customize your character. Say, increase your critical strike chance when shooting with bow and arrow, or maybe unlock a battle cry, which you can use to taunt your enemies when you're engaging in melee combat. All these means of character customization make it a lot of fun, because then you can really focus on a team with, for example, a tank who is always going to be in the front line, while you also have some DPS with an archer in the back. So yeah, that is something which I absolutely like about this game. Combat wise though, I am still not 100% sold on this game, as it does feel pretty clunky. So I am not really sure how this is gonna feel in PvP especially, because yeah, the animations sometimes look a little bit odd. They every now and then feel fantastic, while on the other hand, sometimes you get in a situation where you're like, I actually dodged that, but it didn't happen. So there's definitely a lot of work still on this game, especially combat-wise. But then we also have the base building, which in my opinion feels very similar like the base building we saw in Rust and Ark Survival. So you basically slap some floors on the ground, then you build some walls around it, and you also go for a roof. You can choose between different materials, go for a thatch roof, let's say, or upgrade it to wood and even stone later on. Who knows, there is going to be even more mats. But this is where most of your resources go, which you gather in the world. And of course, then you can also craft your very own weapons and armor once you've created a workbench. Honestly though, I think the building needs a little bit more work before the game gets released, just like with the combat, as right now it feels too complicated for what it should or could be, let's say. I mean, if we compare this to Rust, basically, you just choose a wall with a window in there, you slap it down and you're done. While with this game, you place 2 walls on the bottom and then you possibly put a window on top there. So you basically have to place 4 walls instead of just 1. So you have to do a lot of upgrading, a lot of repairing. That's just one of the things I can think of right now. And also the torches. So you have to search for coal. Basically, you mine minerals, you find some coal here and there. And that's what you place in the torches to keep them lit. But you cannot really activate or deactivate them right now. But of course, the game isn't released yet, so we don't have to be too judgy. But what I did absolutely love about it is that you, before you can start building, have to place down one of these base cores, let's say. And these don't only define where you can start building, but they are also your respawn point. And if you interact with it, you can share your build with other people. If you open up the map, you can even click on it to quick travel back to your base. Use a Hearthstone mechanic, let's say, just like we saw in World of Warcraft. It's a very simple solution to not having to place a bed to have a respawn point, let's say, or build a cupboard like we saw in Rust so people can access your build. I really like this one. But then we also have another mechanic, the cooking. So this one feels very similar to Zelda Breath of the Wild once again. Guys, I mean, it's a fantastic game, so I'm very happy they're taking all the ideas from it. So you can find different types of food, like vegetables, fruit, fish, meat, and you can combine these to get different types of food, which if you eat them will also give you bonuses for combat or exploration. If you combine some meat and veggies, you will get a skewer, which will give you increased physical damage resistance. And also with fish, for example, you can increase your movement speed. These are definitely features to really look forward to further customize your character, like really go in depth with the specialization. Make a tank to always be the front line, or maybe have a ranged DPS character. I think this is going to be a lot of fun to make groups and tackle bosses together, and also the PvP, which will be there once the game gets fully released. So now my conclusion after playing the demo for about 3 to 5 hours. And no guys, I didn't get sponsored by the developers for making this video. There are some flaws still. So the biggest flaw in my opinion is currently the combat. It feels very clunky, the dodging feels a little bit off. Sometimes it is very fluent, while on the other hand it sometimes feels like you're tripping over rocks when jumping. And the dashes, yeah, it just doesn't feel right. It definitely needs a lot more work before the game gets finished, as well as the building. So the building has great elements from different games which I love to play, like Rust. It sometimes feels a little bit too complicated for what it should or could be, especially when we look at the sizes of the walls you place down. But the open world already looks really nice. I'm in love with the graphics. It is pretty cartoonish, like Zelda Breath of the Wild and also the Warcraft art style. I really like this. While the UI in this game, boy oh boy, this one is just simply brilliant. I mean, I want to take the time to talk about this for a second, as not many people cover these kind of things in their previews, let's say. But we have some great games out there, just like Valheim. Sorry Iron Gate, but I think the UI is just bad. It doesn't look good. It has like so many different colors, a simple font, and it's not easy on the eyes. While with Frozen Flame, everything just blends in very nicely. It's simple yet appealing, and then also the icons of all the items which you can find, everything just looks really good. Anyways, the game will be released later this year. It only says fall 2022 right now, so we don't have an exact release date. if you want to check out the demo yourselves as well, the link is in the description. Right now I am just very curious what you guys think about everything we just discussed. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about Frozen Flame. Is this gonna be something for you? Let me know. And yeah, do you agree on the combat being a little bit too clunky still, or is there something else you want to talk about? I'd love to hear your thoughts. We can get a discussion started. But I already wishlisted it and I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes on it. I sincerely hope there is gonna be even more to talk about in the coming months before the game gets released. Anyways guys, that's it for today. I wanna thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking till the end. Definitely make sure to hit that like button if you want to support the channel. Already very much appreciated. And of course, if you want to stay in the loop with future videos, don't hesitate to subscribe. It is entirely free and a lot more is coming your way. Right now though, it is 4 AM out. I want to wish you an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Peace.